It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And good morning. Welcome to the John Fredericks Radio Network all across the United States of America and also available on the John Fredericks Radio app. And we are delighted to have you on the program today. Our number 615-649-8477, 615-649-8477. You can also watch us live and in living color on YouTube. And we're going to have a couple weeks, the John Fredericks Radio Network, and we're going to launch a Roku and Apple app. So that will be fascinating. Well, it's time for the Morning Rundown, brought to you every day at this time by the Glock Store, glockstore.com, located just a few miles from the airport here. Here we go. The Morning Rundown for Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Number one, 4 days, 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 30 seconds until Donald Trump is inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States. But who's counting? Yeah, I'm counting. And you're counting too. We know that to be the case. Number two, and wow, do we have a lot of clips here. Senate confirmation hearings yesterday for Pam Bondi. She's the nominee for Attorney General. Marco Rubio, nominee for Secretary of State. Chris Wright, who's the nominee for Secretary of Energy. I think John Ratcliffe, the nominee for CIA, was there as well. Look, the Trump nominees dominated. And the Democrats, they looked like hysterical nincompoops. How about that? They are, here's the way we're going to talk about Democrats going forward. They are frozen in 2018. They just can't get, they're trying to recreate all the havoc of the Kavanaugh smears, and it's just not working. It's just not working at all. Number three, Donald Trump has floated the idea of an executive order to extend the TikTok sale deadline 90 days past the looming statutory deadline of January 19th. Well, we also are awaiting the Supreme Court decision on this. The Supreme Court could, in fact, extend it beyond that 90 days, but we'll for 90 days. That would probably be the best outcome if they did that. The thing has to be sold, because we can't have the Chi-Coms spying on all of us. And I will tell you this, if the Supreme Court rules the sale or shutdown has to happen by the January 19th deadline, as stated in the law, then President Trump the following day, I think it would be problematic legally for him to execute an executive order extending the deadline 90 days. Now, the question then would become, would the Trump Department of Justice enforce that law? That's another question to be determined. All right. Number four, the Tennessee General Assembly is continuing its organizational meetings today. I thought it would be over on Wednesday, but I talked with a member of the Tennessee General Assembly who said, yeah, they're meeting this morning as well. I expect that after this morning, that general session, the organizational meeting, will be over. Number five, special session here in Tennessee on the week of January 27th will focus just on three things: school choice, flood relief, and immigration rules to help Donald Trump deport illegal aliens. Yeah, we'll see if they can get that done in 5 days. Number six, the Biden farewell address last night. Well, it was an embarrassment. He's trying to pull off a Dwight Eisenhower type, 1960 farewell to the nation, where he warned about the military-industrial complex, and then mumbling, bumbling, and stumbling, Joe Biden said, tech oligarchs, we got to worry about them. This from the guy who just gave a Medal of Freedom to the biggest abuser of dark money, George Soros, who does all these local district attorney races and backs up the district attorneys who won't enforce the law. Oh, and who got $400 million donation from Mark Zuckerberg to this, phony group that was, in essence, taking over election administration in key battleground states. Yeah, that guy? I don't think so. 4 days. How much now? 4 days, 1 hour, 52 minutes and 10 seconds. TikTok can't happen fast enough. Number 7, Marsha Blackburn is saying she's thinking of running for governor here in Tennessee. That is a fascinating story. And, of course, she won easily her reelection to the United States Senate. We'll be talking with her at some point in the near future to say, well, okay, that sounds, I think she would be the prohibitive favorite to win the Republican primary and the general election. There are others who are considering it, but she's got statewide recognition, a solid conservative record. She served in the state Senate. She was one of the people here who stopped the state income tax. You know, the killer bees, Marsha Blackburn, Diane Black, and May Beavers stopped the state income tax back in 2000. Did a great job on that. And then, so we'll see. That's fascinating how that's going to play out. At number 8, the Hamas-Israel hostage release deal has hit a snag. And, well, that's to be expected, but we'll see how that all plays out. Okay, so there you go. That is the morning rundown for Thursday, January 16th, 2025. Now, this is where I tell you about my friends at the Glock store, and I've got some exciting news. One of the things that people love about the Glock store, glockstore.com, is their recurring gun giveaway sweepstakes. Just since last October, 8 lucky people have won the factory stock Glock of their choice just for entering the sweepstakes. Now, we're on sweepstakes number 9. They call it the Abominable Sweepstakes. I guess it's the winter special, right? The entry period started yesterday, Wednesday, January 15th, and will end on Wednesday, January 29th at midnight. Short entry periods like that mean fewer entries, which means a better chance of you being a winner. You really should enter right now. To find out how, just go to glockstore.com/TAS, as in the Abominable Sweepstakes. Say that fast and backwards 3 times for complete entry instructions. No purchase is necessary to enter, and there's even a way to be auto-entered multiple times. That's my friend Lanny McGill giving back to the Glock community by giving away Glocks. Yeah, that's a Glock store thing, and we're sure proud to be sponsored by them. That's glockstore.com/TAS for your chance to win the factory stock Glock of your choice. Always love talking about the Glock store. Great guys, great store, and great shooting range there. All right, let's go back to Pam Bondi was having none of it. Remember the theme here. Democrats are stuck and frozen in 2018, and it ain't working. But the clock has gone forward 70 years, guys. They've missed it. Here we go. Let's go. Clip 1. Pam Bondi with Alex Padilla, who is the Democrat senator from California.
Your job will be, your job will be to protect voters and election workers, not to undermine and dox them. Now, I know that earlier you agreed that Joe Biden is in fact president, but many of the president-elect's inner circle continue to spread the big lie about the 2020 election. Then we'll move on to a different topic.
Senator, you were speaking. May I speak? You cut me off when I was speaking. When I ask you the next question, you can speak, and I hope you answer, Ms. Bondi.
Well,
I'd like to answer the previous one, Senator.
When we met yesterday,
you pointed your finger at me and said you were speaking.
You did not seem to be familiar
let me answer my question.
With
I'm not going to be bullied by you, Senator
the 14th Amendment.
Okay, hold on. Did you get this? This is a sophomoric pattern. They talk over. They say stuff. You're terrible, and they talk over the witness. Pam Bondi's having none of it. I'm not going to be bullied, Senator. I love that. All right. We'll have more of Pam Bondi taking it to the nitwit Democrats frozen in 2018 after this.
Hey there, this is Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of The Glock Store. As a proud sponsor of this show, you may have heard Michael Patrick Leahy mention us a few times over the past 4 years. But today, it's me on the radio telling you how pleased we are to be associated with Michael Patrick Leahy and his dedication to the highest levels of professional journalism. Michael Patrick Leahy has been threatened with jail time in bringing the true facts about that Nashville Covenant shooting to his listening audience. Michael Patrick Leahy, you keep doing what you're doing, and we here at the Glock Store will keep sponsoring your show for the good of Nashville and the entire country. And I'm personally inviting all of your listeners to come visit and shoot at the Glock Store. It's where Michael Patrick Leahy learned to shoot a gun for the first time and where he bought his own personal Glock 19. I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of the Glock Store here in Nashville, just minutes from the airports, worth the drive from anywhere, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy and the Tennessee Star Report.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. A programming note, in the bottom of the hour, our good friend Tom Zalestowski, the Tea Party leader from Akron, Ohio, will be with us. And Tom and I are going to chat about what on earth is Governor DeWine doing. In other words, J.D. Vance has resigned from the Senate. Right now, there are only 99 United States senators because, Rubio hasn't resigned yet. So Florida still has its senator, I believe. But J.D. Vance has resigned from the Senate. Ohio is without a second senator. And Mike DeWine has said he's going to make an appointment this week sometime. He had a press conference about an hour ago. I don't know what happened there. We'll talk to Tom Zalestowski. There are rumors all over the place. Is he going to name Lieutenant Governor John Husted? Is he going to name Vivek Ramaswamy? Who knows? Tom Zalestowski and I both predicted on Monday that he would make an appointment within 24 hours. We were wrong. Here we are 3 days later. So Tom will tell us what's going on there. Okay, now I want to go to what a terrific job Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida, who is now the nominee of Donald Trump to be Attorney General for the United States. What a terrific job she did in her confirmation hearings yesterday at the United States Capitol in the Senate Judiciary Committee. It was fantastic. And I'd like to get your opinion from wherever you are. Call in and let me know. Do you agree with me that every Democrat senator, and pretty much every Democrat, is frozen in 2018? Their intellectual development stopped. They can only they're not very bright. The only thing that they can do is to try to, harangue and make false claims and not let the witness answer. They look like a bunch of ridiculous children. I actually have a little Chris Cuomo clip we might get to. Of all people, Chris Cuomo said the Democrats look like children. Now, speaking of children, here is Pam Bondi just taking it to the new senator from California, Adam Schiff. Clip 8.
There's no worry about divulging
I'm sitting
law
here as a
enforcement
nominee.
sensitive information. So just tell us,
I'm
are
sitting
you
here as
aware?
a nominee.
Just tell us, are you aware of a factual predicate to investigate Jack Smith? Yes or no?
Senator, what I'm hearing on the news
Are
is
you aware of
horrible. Do I know if he committed a crime?
Okay,
I have
let's
not
just,
seem
I need to
reluctant.
pause just a moment here. This is an irritating technique. You ask a question, right? Basically, it's designed to, intimidate your opponent and to make him look like an idiot. And then how long was she into that question before she was interrupted? It's impolite to begin with. It's dishonest. And it reflects poorly on the question asker, in this case, Shifty Schiff, the pencil neck guy from California. Okay, so let's continue with this inquisition that backfired for Senator Adam Shifty Schiff from California of Pam Bondi. Here we go.
To answer a simple question. Let me ask you a different simple question. The president also wants to jail Liz
Okay,
Cheney.
I got to do it again. Let me ask you a simple question. Implied. Are you too stupid to answer a simple question? How arrogant and condescending. And so, again, the technique, let me ask you a simple question. And when Bondi attempts to respond, they jump in again. So here we go. More Schiff.
Today, are you aware of any factual basis to investigate Liz Cheney? Yes or no?
Senator, that's a hypothetical, and I'm not going to answer that question.
No, it's not hypothetical. I'm asking you, sitting here today, whether you are aware of a factual predicate to investigate Liz Cheney.
Senator, no one has asked me to investigate Liz Cheney. That is a hypothetical.
The president has called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate.
But the president has
We're also worried about Liz Cheney, Senator.
The president has called for this.
You know what we should be worried about?
Ms. Bondi, please answer my questions.
California right now is through the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
your robberies are 87% higher than the national average.
My question is this.
That's what I want to be focused on, Senator.
Do you have the power to say?
All right, we got to stop. Now, again, why? Notice what she did there. It was very good. She twisted it. You know, he's trying to do this stupid gotcha hypothetical about Liz Cheney. And she says, you know, quite rightly, it's a hypothetical. I'm not going to answer a hypothetical. Remember, she's the nominee. She's not in office yet. She hasn't been tasked with anything yet. And she flips it. We should be talking about cutting crime in your state of California because crime is through the roof, implied because of stupid policies that you and other Democrats have gone on there. All right. So, but he's talking over her. He's talking over her, not allowing her to answer. People look at that and they say, just anybody, like an independent person, they look at this and say, what are you doing? Are you interested in getting the truth out? No, you are not. And so it becomes clear that not only is he frozen in 2018, he is a propaganda hack, not interested in a, quote, dialogue. Let's continue, if I can take it here, for Adam Schiff, Senator from California.
And what you're suggesting today by your non-answer is you don't have the independence to say no to the president. So let me ask you a different question. It also requires you, if you're going to be a good attorney general, to be able to tell hard truths to the president. So my questions now are, can you tell hard truths to the president? So let me start with an easy truth that you could.
You're so stupid. Let me start with an easy truth, he says in a condescending manner. You know, what a jerk. Okay, let's continue.
Speak to the president. Can you tell him that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election? Can you say that? Do you have the independence to say that? Do you have the...
Okay, we got to stop again. I looked at the calendar, Senator Schiff. The calendar says January 16th, 2025. It doesn't say November of 2020. It doesn't say January 6th of 2021. That was, 4 years ago. Let's look at the future, right? All right, here we go. More on Shifty Schiff.
The stature, the intestinal fortitude to say, Donald Trump, you lost the 2020 election. Can you tell us that here today?
Senator, what I can tell you is I will never play politics. You're trying to engage me in a gotcha. I won't do it.
Okay. Now, again, notice she's trying. How long into that? Was it like 5 seconds into her response that he interrupted her again? Let's go.
Speak truth
with any ongoing investigation,
so let me ask you another,
like you did leaking your colleague Devin Nunes's memo.
Okay, stop. Okay, pushback, right? Did you hear that? Like you did, leaking your colleague Devin Nunes's memo, which, by the way, earned him a contempt citation from his fellow members of a censure, rather, from his fellow members of Congress. Let's go.
Let me ask you a different, what should be a simple truth, not a hard one.
Okay, I can't help it. This condescension. Let me ask you what should be a simple truth. Unbelievable. So here we go.
Was there massive fraud affecting the result of the 2020 election, yes or no?
Senator, I'm glad you asked that question. If you'll let me answer what I saw in Pennsylvania.
No, I asked a simple question about massive fraud.
I can only tell you what I saw in
No, I know you want to
Pennsylvania.
answer a different question.
Okay,
but my question-
so actually, he's asking about fraud in 2020. She actually was on the ground, right? She was there. She was there, and you can see the clips of this. She and another person were trying to. They had a judge's order to allow them to get into a counting place, and it didn't happen. So there you go. All right, here we go. Up next, more with Shifty Schiff, and Bondi.
question is, can you tell us whether there was massive fraud affecting the results of the 2020 election? Yes or no? Was there
I
or
can
was there
tell
not?
you what I saw when I went
That's
as an
not my,
advocate
that's
to
not
the
my
campaign.
question. So you can't answer that question. You can't speak that even easy truth to us, let alone to the president. So let me ask you a different question. It will also be important that you give good advice to the president. Are you prepared to advise the president not to pardon people who beat police officers?
Senator, as I said, the pardons are at the direction of the president. We will look and we will advise. I will look at every case on a case.
so you're
Let me
looking-
finish. On a case-by-case
Okay,
basis.
okay, good.
And I abhor violence to police officers.
Follow up with that. So will it be your advice to the president, Mr.
Okay,
President?
so I can't. Why does anybody take a Democrat politician seriously today? I mean, they're just a bunch of jokers. They are frozen in 2018. They should be an exhibit in a museum of anachronisms. Back with more after this. Tom Zalstowski talks with us about what's going on in Ohio. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And we welcome to our Zoom Newsmaker line right now our very good friend for many years, a well-known Tea Party leader in Ohio, the president of the We the People Convention, live from Akron, Ohio, Tom Zalestowski. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Michael. How are you today?
Well, Tom, I think I'm going to have to eat some crow here because you were here on Monday. And on Monday, we were both speculating as to when Governor of Ohio, Mike DeWine, would name the appointment of a senator to replace J.D. Vance, who resigned, I think, on January 3rd, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. And I predicted that he would make that appointment within 12 hours. I think you predicted within 24 hours. Mm-hmm. I checked the clock, and it's been like 72 hours. Where are we now?
Yeah, we're frustrated is where we are now. We're surprised because as your viewers and listeners and readers are seeing, the hearings have already started for the Trump appointees. And we sure as heck would like to have both Republican senators. You know, we elected Bernie Moreno to replace the Marxist Sherrod Brown. And now J.D. Vance has had to step down because he's going to be vice president. And we're frustrated that we don't have our second senator appointed yet. Now, there's been a lot of talk that it looked like it was going to be Lieutenant Governor John Husted, and you and I talked about that. And then just in the last 24 hours, or maybe even 12 hours, there's been these stories out that Vivek Ramaswamy is going to be taking that Senate seat, and that President Trump is pushing that. My sources call BS on that.
Yeah, my sources,
that's true at
by
all.
the way, Tom, my sources as well. I'm here. Now, look. That story broke, I think, in German-owned Politico, right?
Yeah.
And you notice how I do that every time.
I love it.
German-owned Politico. And they cited anonymous sources, two anonymous sources familiar with the situation. Mm-hmm. And for this report that said, well, Governor DeWine is going to appoint Vivek Ramaswamy to the Senate because they claimed President Trump has gotten tired of him and doesn't want him running DOJ.
I love that line.
I mean,
that was a tell. Right there was a tell.
Yeah.
We both know that's garbage.
Yeah. Well, why did they do that? I think now the rumor is we're in the land of rumor, and in Ohio politics, particularly of late, rumors abound about all the various aspirants, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Potential United States senators awaiting this appointment from Mike DeWine. Here is what I'm hearing, just from sources, little birdies, that John Husted does not want to accept a Senate appointment because, in his heart of hearts, he wants to be the governor of Ohio. When he grew up and when he was a kid in elementary school, he looked in the mirror and saw a future governor of Ohio, right?
And future president.
And future president. I mean, that goes without saying. They all look in the mirror and they see a future president. And the path, it is much easier to become a president if you are a governor of a major state than a United States senator because you've got that executive and experience. So he doesn't want to accept the appointment. Now, he's currently the lieutenant governor of Ohio. But, Tom, Vivek Ramaswamy, our friend, who lives in Columbus, Ohio, was raised in Cincinnati, grew up in, went to St. X in famous Jesuit
Great
school
Yeah.
in Cincinnati, and lives in Columbus right now. Rumor is Vivek also looks in the mirror and sees a future president. Right?
Yeah. True.
And he wouldn't deny it, I don't think.
Well, he already ran for it. I mean, it's not
he
like,
ran for it.
it's
Yeah,
a rumor. He ran for president.
And so the best path for him would be to run for governor in 2026. The polling, you said some polling that shows he's the overwhelming favorite to get the Republican nomination. I think, 40% for Vivek, a big field of like 12 candidates, 40% for Vivek, 16% for Husted. So if that's his goal, why would Vivek abandon the high-profile Doge department to become one of 100 senators when he really wants to be governor and then president of the United States? Your thoughts, Tom Zalestowski.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, you and I have, good sources. You know Vivek personally. I was talking with Bernie Moreno this morning and just saying, hey, Bernie, I think this is BS. What do you think? And he goes, yeah, there's just no way Vivek's not on the outs with Trump. And, there's a tell. I mean, this first story I saw was that Henry Gomez, the radical left reporter from the Cleveland Plain Dealer, was a source of the first story. That told me right away this was garbage. And then you saw it, like you said, in the Politico, and then all the lefty, the Dispatch, and all that. They're trying to goad, Vivek into taking this, and it's not going to work. No one listens to them. And Vivek has a very important job with Doge. And I don't know if you saw the story, but Doge is already on the ground in D.C. with 50 workers right now.
Yeah, and they've got I saw a report that Elon Musk has office space in the executive office building right now, which is that's where all the work really takes place in the White House.
That's right.
It's right across the street. It's this big, stately, sort of 19th century, beautiful building, ominous looking. It looks like a building filled with power, right?
Yes, that's true. I've been there.
Yeah. And so I assume that Vivek probably also has an office there.
They're serious. This isn't some damn game. These men have put a lot of political capital and real capital into this thing. They actually are worried about the future of our form of government. They literally are, and they're going to work, to try to do what they can to reel us in. And if you get a chance, Mike, you might want to watch Mark Andreessen on the recent interview with the guy from Stanford.
Peter Robinson.
Peter Robinson. Because he's explaining exactly what they're looking to do, and it's pretty freaking remarkable. So, this idea that Vivek's is going to walk away from that and run, take the Senate seat so he can be in these stupid hearings that you and I have witnessed for the last couple of days, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. And Vivek, he is not a legislative personality. He is an executive personality.
Exactly.
Right? He's the guy in charge. He's built up this, terrific pharmaceutical company, and so he's not going to. I talked to another source, high-level source that you know as well. Late last night, he said that German-owned political story about Vivek becoming the senator was 1,000% incorrect.
1,000%.
1,000%.
That's pretty.
Not 100%.
1,000%. So let me remind people some other things that you forget, because you hear all the noise in the media and things, and Vivek ran for president and all that. But go back and watch his interview with Tucker Carlson, and where he explains exactly how we're going to get rid of these government employees and departments based on his knowledge as an attorney. Mm-hmm. People don't realize he and his wife graduated from Harvard Law School.
Well,
he's an insanely great attorney.
You mean Vivek?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vivek went to Yale Law School. His wife is a physician.
That's right. That's right.
She was,
and so
I think she was
this
at Yale
guy's
Medical
got
School.
Skills.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy isn't just some entrepreneur that's going into government and doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's a sharp guy.
He quotes chapter and verse of the law that they're going to use to implement this. And Mark Andreessen does the same thing with Peter Robinson.
Let's talk about DeWine. And also, right now, the Senate is not 53-47. It's 52-47, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's think about some of these on the margin. Some of these on the margin nominees, because you've got Murkowski from Linda Murkowski and Susan Collins from Maine. Yeah. They are very questionable. I mean, Susan Collins, you sort of can cut her some slack because she's probably the only Republican who can ever get elected to the Senate from Maine. Probably.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Lisa Murkowski, did you get her first name right? Is it Lisa or Linda? I don't remember. But
it's Lisa Murkowski. She's
yeah.
a Liz Cheney. She's not a Republican at all.
Yeah. So, but you could be in a situation where those two don't vote for Pete Hegseth or whoever. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But then you would be, now this is weird because then that vote would be 50-47 and you need a majority to, I guess 50-47 would make it, right?
Because Vance could also vote.
Or 50-49.
Right, yeah. But,
no, he won't be able to, vote in the Senate until the afternoon of January 20th.
It's a Monday. That's exactly right. But Rubio's also in the mix, and DeSantis is about to announce his pick. That's important as well.
Right.
And he's not going to pick a House member because we can't afford to lose anybody in the House. So the margins couldn't be tighter, but I still think it's all going to work out, and I expect Des Moines to appoint someone soon because they will be there to make those
Why is
votes.
DeWine stretching this out so much? Is he trying to, is Husted resisting the appointment because he wants to be governor and doesn't want to give that lane to Vivek? Is that what's really going on?
Yeah, I suspect that. But yesterday, my wife Nan and I were driving around, and I just said to her, Nan, the sad part is that Mike DeWine is a transactional politician. I don't know that he's ever done anything where there wasn't something in it for him.
What's he looking for?
Goals.
What's he looking for?
And I don't know if it's he wants an appointment as an ambassador.
Well, he lost the Vatican slot.
He
that's
did
what he
lose
wanted.
that, so maybe he's on plan B or C. But it's just disappointing to me that he is not out there saying, I want the best person to support the voters of Ohio and Donald Trump's Make America Great Again agenda.
Tom, have you met Mike DeWine?
I have many times. That ain't Mike DeWine, is it?
Tom, thanks so much. And look, text me. We'll get you on as soon as DeWine appoints the senator.
Awesome. We love you, Mike. Thanks for everything you do, buddy.
Thanks, Tom. We'll be back with more after this.
Hey, I'm Governor Bill Lee, and I want to talk to you about an important education bill in Tennessee. Everyone knows that education has the power to change the trajectory of a child's life forever. And anyone who's raised a child knows that each one's different in their educational needs, and their learning styles, and their talents. The fact is, parents know their own children best. They know what's best for their education and their future. That's why I'm here to talk to you about Tennessee's Education Freedom Act. It empowers parents across our state to use their tax dollars to choose the school that allows their child to thrive, regardless of zip code or income, all while making significant investments in Tennessee's public education. If you want to learn how you can help make the Education Freedom Act a reality in Tennessee, go to educationfreedomact.com and write or call your state representatives. It's educationfreedomact.com.
This ad is paid for by Job Creators Network.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. The great Carol Swain, all-star panelist, author, professor, will be here in studio with us in the next hour. We look forward to that tremendously. And then she'll be here for the full hour. We'll then have at 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern, the great Matt Boyle from Breitbart will give his assessments to us and to Carol and me about the Trump agenda. 4 days. 4 days. Oh, my goodness. Please, please, please. Hurry up and let's get there. All right. I wanted to talk about some breaking news. We have some breaking news. It broke about 10 minutes ago. Ron DeSantis has told everybody who he will appoint to be the next senator from Florida to replace Marco Rubio, who is, of course, as you know, the nominee for Secretary of State. We'll have some Rubio clips as well. But here, let's go with Governor DeSantis just a few minutes ago.
He has stood strong time and time again. Most recently, in this past year, filing lawsuits and joining lawsuits to take on the weaponization of law enforcement that targeted then candidate Donald Trump. She took on Jack Smith for his politically motivated persecution of the former president, fought back against the rogue Attorney General of New York for her politicizing justice, led the Florida investigation into the second Trump assassination attempt in Palm Beach, even as the federal government continues to try to block her efforts. She's been a national leader in fighting the Biden administration on many different fronts, including on immigration. She's not only filed more than a dozen separate lawsuits, but she's actually won against Biden with his reckless border policies. She's demanded appropriately the impeachment of Alexander Mayorkas and the designation of Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. In her role as AG, she has stood strong for law and order. She believes in putting criminals in jail, not releasing them back onto the street where they will offend again. She does not support soft on crime leftist prosecutors.
Okay. He didn't say Ashley Moody in that clip, but that's who it's going to be, Ashley Moody. And I think that's a great choice. Now she's going to replace, and I'm going to play this clip right now, Marco Rubio, who's not resigned yet as senator. And this clip 6, he was talking about, and I think, by the way, Marco Rubio is going to be a great Secretary of State. And I think he'll be confirmed easily. Here we go, talking Marco Rubio, the current senator from Florida, the nominee to be Secretary of State. Marco Rubio is basically now talking about the threat of China. Here we go.
If we stay on the road we're on right now, in less than 10 years, virtually everything that matters to us in life will depend on whether China will allow us to have it or not. Everything from the blood pressure medicine we take to what movies we get to watch, and everything in between, we will depend on China for it. They have come to dominate the critical mineral industry supplies throughout the world. Everywhere in the world, they've now established critical mineral rights. Even those who want to see more electric cars, no matter where you make them, those batteries are almost entirely dependent on the ability of the Chinese and the willingness of the Chinese Communist Party to produce it and export it to you. So if we don't change course, we are going to live in a world where much of what matters to us on a daily basis, from our security to our health, will be dependent on whether the Chinese allow us to have it or not. That's an unacceptable outcome.
He's 1,000% correct in that. And look, this is why we are about to enter a golden age of America, because that's all going to be changed. And if you look back historically, when did this go wrong? It really went wrong in the first George W. Bush administration. When, remember that Tiananmen Square protest where they were looking for democracy in China, and the brave guy stood up in front of the tanks in Beijing? And basically, ultimately, I think that guy is no longer with us as a result. And the Bush administration, because they wanted to get manufacturing going in China, and the big money guys in Wall Street said, yeah, we can make more money if all the manufacturing moves to China. That is where this all began and went wrong. Should not have happened. George H.W. Bush made a wrong choice. Clinton continued it. George W. Bush continued it. Barack Obama continued it. And it really wasn't until Donald Trump in the first administration came around that we realized, no, that's not going to work, because if you don't make things in America, you're dependent upon who makes those things. We don't want that. America has been great because it has been a manufacturing powerhouse. And Donald Trump is going to bring that back, and also going to bring back leadership in the technology sector, particularly in the area of AI. Now, we still lead in the technology sector, but you got to add the manufacturing and the technology. America needs to be the dominant player economically and militarily. And I think with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, with the Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, with Attorney General Pam Bondi, that's going to happen. Hey, up next, we're going to have a party here. Not only is Carol Swain going to be with us, Roger Simon will be here. We'll be back with more. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.